So today was day one of Theodore Edgecomb's trial, and it was interesting to say the least. First, he entered a plea of guilty to his bail jumping offenses, both the felony and misdemeanor offense. Why is that important? Well, it changes strategy up for the defense and the prosecution. The one thing it changes is the fact that Theodore fled the scene and then, in fact, left the state of Wisconsin after the shooting of Jerry Clearman. Why is that important? Well, like I said before, flight can be circumstantial evidence of guilt. Well, this takes a little bit of the sting out of it because he's already pled to it. And why does that help? It limits how much the state can focus on it. It also helps that the jury now only has to focus on one count, intentional homicide. They aren't going to look at the other two and be influenced by him. And why is that important? Because the first two offenses, the bail jumping offenses, are relatively easy to prove. Some states are called failure to appear offenses. Either you were there and available for court or you were not. And if you weren't, what was your reason? Well, Theodore doesn't have a reason. He just wasn't there. So those would be slam dunks to prove. Be very easy. They don't have to cloud their mind with, oh, well, he's guilty of this, so he must be guilty of that. The second incident focuses around jury selection. And what happened today with the jury? Well, they got doxxed. Now, was it intentional? No. But it's interesting in the fact that who was responsible for the doxing? Who was responsible for their identity being released to the world? It wasn't the defense. It wasn't the state. And it wasn't the media. Now, why do I mention it wasn't the media? Well, the media has not been allowed to live stream the trial or broadcast the trial. But you can still watch it. So who's responsible? Well, the court is. In fact, you can go onto the Wisconsin court website right here, click on Milwaukee County right here, and then click on Branch 12 right here. And guess who's having a trial right now? Well, you guessed it, Theodore Edgecomb. The court's own streaming accidentally revealed some jurors' identities. So what happened? Well, I will give the judge credit. He kicked that whole jury out and started all over again. Now, the bit of an issue was they were well on their way to picking that jury and were almost done by the time this happened. They had already had lunch and were almost finished. But out of an abundance of caution, I think the judge made the right decision. Start over. Pick 50 new jurors and then whittle them down to your 14, your 12 main jurors and your two alternates. It was at this time that the defense made a motion for mistrial, and I don't blame them. I would. Part of that's protecting the record, and part of that is just saying, hey, something's not right with the trial. I want a mistrial. Now, I'm kind of joking about this, but as a defense attorney, you're going to pretty much claim everything's a mistrial. You run out of ink in your pen, it's a mistrial. One of the jurors sneezes, it's a mistrial. Your witness's trips climbing up to the witness stand, mistrial. Anything you can make out of to be a mistrial, you're probably going to argue it. Why? Well, part of that's protecting the record, and part of it is also, well, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So that's it for day one of the Theodore Edgecomb trial. Now, at the rate it's going, hopefully voir dire is finished tomorrow. They were still going at the end of today. I would presume by lunch everything will be done, everything will be ready. Maybe opening arguments will happen before lunch, but I'm betting probably going to wait till after lunch unless they get done right away in the morning. And then hopefully there's a lot more to talk about. So that's it for today, guys. Tune in for day two tomorrow. And remember, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty.